everyone, welcome back to my channel Learnopedia. Let's succeed. Today we are going to see the applications of quadratic equations, and this is the last topic of a chapter. So let's see. The applications of quadratic equation, you will find that these applications are similar to that of linear equations in two variables. Okay, the only thing is the method of solving these questions is different. Like those in that we did assume two variables and then solved it, right? But in this we have to assume only one variable and we have to solve that. Now you will think that why we are not solving these sums using the linear equations in two variables. So I will give you the reason while solving this question, and I have also taken four different types of sums from the applications of quadratic equation, and the last question is based on the roots of the quadratic equations. So we will see them one by one now. The first question is, Mukund possesses rupees 50 more than what Sagar possesses. The product of amount the both of them have is 15,000. Find the amount each one has. Now we will just first try solving it by the linear equations in two variables. What do we do in linear equations is we just assume two variables, that is x and y, and then solve that question, right? So in this we will assume that Sagar has x rupees and Mukund has y rupees. So Sagar has x rupees and Mukund has y rupees. Okay, so both of them have x and y rupees, right? Now the second condition is product of amount the both of them have is 15,000. So if we just take this product of these two things, what we will get is x into y is equal to 15,000. Now how we will solve this equation? We do not know till now how to solve this types of equations, right? We have if we get the equation in quadratic form, we can solve it by the factorization method or the completing square method or using the formula, right? The same way we can, in the linear equations we have various methods to solve these equations, like the elimination method, substitution method, right? So we can solve those examples, but this equation we cannot solve that, right? Hence we are not using the linear equations in two variables here. We are not taking two variables, that is x and y. We are only going to assume one variable, and based on that we are going to solve this question. So let's see. Now we are starting it with the quadratic equations, right? So for that I will say that Sagar has x rupees. Okay, so Sagar has x rupees. Then what they have given is Mukund possesses rupees 50 more than what Sagar possesses. मतलब मुकुंद के पास 50 रुपीज़ ज़्यादा है सागर से, right? So Mukund has x plus 50 rupees, right? Because x में अगर 50 ऐड किया तो we will get मुकुंद की money, right? So this is the two variables which have what? Variables or one condition and one variable, right? X, and we use the condition to get the other unknown thing, right? So the second condition is the product of amount the both of them have is 15,000. Now we just multiply these two terms, and what we will get is x into x plus 50 is equal to 15,000. Right, this is the thing they have given. Now we will just multiply these two terms, that is x into x plus 50. We will get x square plus 50x. Taking this term on the other side, what we will get is minus 15,000 is equal to 0. This is the quadratic equation, and we have to solve this quadratic equation using the various methods, right? We will use the factorization method here. So in the factorization method, we have the equation that is x square plus 50x minus 15,000 is equal to 0, right? Now we have to remove the factors of 15,000, because 15,000 into 1 is 15,000, and we have to get the middle term 50, right, by subtracting it. So if you just remove the factors of 15,000, what we will get is the factors as 150 into 100, right? If we just subtract these terms, we will get the 50 as the middle term, right? Now I'm just substituting these factors in the equation. We will get it as x square plus 150 into x minus 100 x minus 15000 is equal to 0. Now we will take the common terms here, that is x into x plus 150 minus 100 into x plus 150 is equal to 0. Taking this together and this another bracket, that is x minus 100 and x plus 150 is equal to 0. Now again separating these terms, that is x is equal to 100 or x is equal to minus 150. Now if you see here, x is coming negative. Can a money be negative? Like someone gives you a cash and that is not negative, right? So we just cannot say that x is equal to minus 150. So we will just neglect this thing, and what we will get is x is equal to 100. Now what we have assumed that Sagar has x rupees, that is Sagar has 100 rupees and Mukund has 50 more than him, right? So Mukund will have 150 rupees, right? Mukund will have 150 rupees. And this is Sagar's, right? So this is how we solve it using the quadratic equations. It is simple, right? The second question is based on the concept of years or the age of the person, right? So the question is, Vivek is older than Kishore by 5 years. The sum of the reciprocals of their ages is 1/6. Find their present ages. Now let's try it solving by the linear equations in two variables. I will show you what is the difficulty in solving this sum using the linear equations in two variables. Okay, so let's assume Kishore's age as x years and Vivek's age as y years, right? We are solving it by the linear equations in two variables, and we are going to see what is the difficulty in solving this question using the linear equations in two variables. Okay, I'm just repeating it because don't get confused as I'm solving it using the linear equations, because yes, we have to solve this question by the quadratic equations. I'm just showing you what is the difficulty in solving it by the linear equations. Okay, so we have assumed these two variables, that is x and y, and what is the condition they have given is 1. The sum of the reciprocals of their ages is 1/6, that is 1/x plus 1/y is equal to 1/6. Now if we just take this LCM here, what we get is x plus y is equal to x into y is equal to 1/6. Again we are going to cross multiply that. We will get it as 6x plus 6y is equal to xy. Now we cannot solve this equation because how are we going to eliminate this term, right? So we solve it by the quadratic equations. This is the difficulty here, that is we get this term and we are not able to eliminate that term, right? So we are going to solve it by the quadratic equations. I know I am repeating it a lot of times, but yes, you need to know what is the difficulty faced when we solve it by the linear equations. Now we are going to solve it by the quadratic equations. For that, we just assume that Kishore's age is x years, therefore what will be the age of Vivek? Vivek's age will be 5 years greater than Kishore, because Vivek is older than Kishore by 5 years. Therefore Vivek's age is x plus 5 years, right? So this is the age of Vivek. Now what is the second condition they have given is the reciprocal ka sum is 1/6, 6. Now the reciprocal is this, that what we get is 1 by 6. Same thing we have to do, take LCM, then cross multiply the overall thing, right? So what we get is x plus 5 plus x upon x into x plus 5 is equal to 1 by 6. Sorry, this is 1 by 6 here, right? So now we're going to see, that is what we get is x into x plus x is 2x. Therefore 2x plus 5 upon x into x plus 5 is equal to 1 by 6. We need to cross multiply this. What we get is 6 into 2x plus 5 is equal to x into x plus 5, right? We have to multiply this brackets here. What we get is 12x plus 6 into 5 is 30 is equal to x square plus 5x, right? Taking these terms on the other side, what we get is x square plus 5x minus 12x minus 30 is equal to 0. Solving this equation, what we get is plus 5x minus 12x minus 7x minus 30 is equal to 0. Multiplying the first and the last coefficients, what we get is 30, and we need to remove the factors of 30 so that we get the 7 number in between. Now what are the factors of 30 is 10 into 3. So if we subtract this 10 and 3, then we will get 7, right? So x square minus 10x plus 3x minus 30 is equal to 0. So taking this x common from both the terms, we get x into x minus 10 plus 3 into x minus 10 is equal to 0, right? Now we are going to just take this and this as common. So x plus 3 into x minus 10 is equal to 0. Now we will separate these terms, that is either x plus 3 is equal to 0 or x minus 10 is equal to 0. Therefore we get x is equal to minus 3 or x is equal to 10. Now x cannot be negative because we are finding the age of the person, right? So x cannot be negative, age cannot be negative. So therefore x is equal to 10. And we get Kishore's age as 10. Therefore Vivek's age will be 15 years, right? So this is how we find this ages of the people by using the quadratic equation. I hope it's simple. We are just solving it by the factorization method because it's easy to remove the factors here. Now our next question is based on the formula of speed, and the similar type of question we solve it in the linear equations in two variables just by assuming two different variables, that is x and y, right? In the previous question, that is the second question, we tried solving that sum using the linear equations in two variables, but we saw that there is a problem. If we take x and y, we have to cross multiply that and then solve it, right? And we get the product of x and y. So we won't be able to solve that, or we won't be able to eliminate that term, right? So that's why we are not using the linear equations in two variables here, and we are solving it by the quadratic equations. So we know what is the problem. We saw in the last two questions, the same problem is going to arrive here. So we won't solve it using the linear equations, and we will directly start solving it using the quadratic equations. For that quadratic equations, we need to assume only one variable, right? So we have, suppose first we will read the question, that is Pratik takes 8 hours to travel 36 km downstream and return to the same spot. The speed of boat in still water is 12 kilometers per hour. Find the speed of water current. Now what we have to find is the speed of the water current. So let's assume, let speed of the water current be x. So the speed of water current is x kilometer per hour, right? Now let's list out what they have given us, that is the total time they have given us and the total distance, that is 36 kilometers upstream and downstream. So that is the total distance and they have given us the total time. So total time is equal to 8 hours and total distance, is equal to 36 kilometers. And the next thing which they have given us is the speed of the boat in still water is 12 kilometers. So speed of the boat in still water, that is when the water is not moving, then the speed of the boat is 12 kilometer per hour. Now see, if there is water, if the water has some speed, the speed of the boat will obviously decrease or increase depending of the flow of the water and the direction of the boat, right? So see, understand it like this, that is if the boat is going downstream and the water is going downstream, then the speed of the water will contribute in the speed of the boat, that is speed of the boat will definitely increase when we go down, right? So there we will see that the speed of the boat when it's going downstream, we will say that it is 12 plus x kilometer per hour, that is speed of the boat is increasing. And what is the speed of the water current? It is x, so 12 plus x kilometer per hour. Now if it is going upstream, like this flow of the water will oppose the boat speed, right? It is going downwards and the boat is coming upwards, so they are going in the opposite direction, so it will definitely decrease the speed of the boat. So what it will be, the speed of the boat when it's downstream is 12 minus x. Now why I have taken that minus x? Because see, the speed of the water will remain small, right? Because boat से ज़्यादा तो नहीं हो सकता speed पानी का, right? It's only when there is flood or something, that time the flow of the water is more. And if it is a stable water, like if you see in the rivers, when you just take your boat and go in the river, that boat is driven by yourselves, and the speed of the boat will obviously be greater than the speed of the water, right? So that's why it is taken as 12 plus x or 12 minus x. So upstream के लिए it is 12 minus x kilometer per hour. Now we have taken what is the assume thing. Now I know it is not looking so good because of my handwriting here. I am not able to write it properly, but I hope you will understand that. So now we are going to use the formula of speed, that is speed is equal to distance upon time, right? Now we take that time on the opposite side, what we will get is time is equal to distance upon speed, right? Now we have the total time here and the time taken by the individual thing, that is when it's going downstream and upstream, the time is different. We have the total time here, right? So we will take, suppose we have the time when the boat goes downstream, we will take it as t1. So t1 is equal to, we know the distance traveled, so 36 upon x plus 12 or 12 plus x, it is the similar thing. Now the second thing is t2 is equal to, when it's going upstream, that is 36 upon 12 minus x, right? So now if we just add these two terms, that is t1 plus t2, we will get the total time. Now moving ahead, that is we have T1 plus T2 is equal to 8 hours, right? It is given. So T1 is 36 upon 12 plus x plus 36 upon 12 minus x is equal to 8. Now we need to take the LCM here. Now for that we will just multiply these terms. That is, we will get, now if you look here, we can just take this 36 common from both the terms, right? So we will write it as 36 into 1 upon 12 plus x plus 1 upon 12 minus x is equal to 8. Afterwards we will cross multiply that. I just missed that step, so I have taken it here. Now we can just take this term on the other side. So it is in multiplication here, so when it goes on the other side it will get divided. So what happens is 1 upon 12 plus x plus 1 upon 12 minus x is equal to 8 upon 36, right? Now we can just cross multiply this and get the LCM terms like that, okay? So 12 plus x, and here it is 12, it is 12 minus x, and this is 12. Okay, wait, let me erase it so that you won't get confused there. And I will again write it, that is 12 minus x plus 12 plus x upon this two terms will get multiplied, that is 12 plus, what happens here, 12 plus x into 12 minus x is equal to, can we reduce these terms by just dividing it by 2? Here we get 2 4s are 8, and this is 2 18s are 36. Again we can divide it by 2, that is 2 2s are 4 and 2 9s are 18. So what we get is 2 by 9, right? Now if you see here, that is this minus x and this plus x gets cancelled. This 12 plus 12 will get added and we will get it as 24. In the denominator, what you can see is here, that is, this is a, suppose we just consider this a and this is b, this is a, again this is b. So 12 is a and b is x. So a plus b into a minus b will give us a square minus b square, right? So what we will get is 12 square minus x square, right? So this is, again we get it here. Now we can just cross multiply these terms and get our values, that is 24 into 9 is equal to 2 into 144, that is 12 ka square minus x square. Now we can just take this 2 and just divide it and simplify that, so we just don't need to multiply such big numbers. That is, if this 2 comes down, it will get divided, right? And this 2 and this 24 gets cancelled. So it will be, that is 2 12s is 24. So 12 into 9 is equal to 144 minus x square. Now 12 into 9 is 108 is equal to 144 minus x square, right? Now I will just take this x square here and this 108 here. So what I get is x square is equal to 144 minus 108. Now just a sec. So this is x square. Now 144 minus 108 is 36, right? So this is 36 and x is equal to, we can just take the square roots on both the side and we get it as 36 is equal to 6 plus minus 6, right? So if you just see here, x is equal to 6 or x is equal to minus 6. Now we cannot say x is equal to minus 6 because speed cannot be negative. So we just eliminate this term and we say x is not equal to minus 6. And we say that x is equal to 6. So speed of the water current is, speed of the water current is is 6 kilometer per hour, right? So we got the speed in this way, and I hope it is easy for you to understand. I have just explained it in a simple manner. And yes, now we will move ahead to the next question. That is, this question is based on the length. Okay, so we will see what is the question now. Mr. Dinesh owns an agricultural farm at village Talwel. The length of the farm is 10 meter, more than twice the breadth. In order to harvest rainwater, he dug a square shaped pond inside the farm. The side of the pond is 1 by 3 of the breadth of the farm. The area of the farm is 20 times the area of the pond. Find the length and breadth of the farm of the pond and the pond of the pond. So both we have to find, and I know it is a little confusing, but yes, we will solve it in a simple manner. Now see what they have given, just first note it down. The length of the farm is, now we will just note the farm ka length and breadth. Okay, right? So first we will take the farm length and breadth, and what we have is, let the breadth of the farm be x. Suppose let breadth of the farm be x. So from the first condition, that is the length of the farm is 10 meter, more than twice the breadth. So what will be the length? Length we will get is equal to twice breadth plus 10 meter more. So that is 2x plus 10, right? Now in order to harvest the rain water, he dug a square shaped pond inside the farm. The side of the pond is 1 by 3 of the breadth of the farm. Now see, this is a we have rectangular farm. In that we are going to dug a square shaped pond, right? So we will just draw a diagram here. That is, we have this farm, this is the rectangular farm. In this we are going to dug a square pond, right? So this is the length, that is 2x plus 10, and this is x, that is the breadth, right? Now what they have given us is, in order to harvest rainwater, he dug a square shaped pond inside the farm. This we have driven here, and the side of pond is 1 by 3 of the breadth of the farm, right? So what they have given us is, this side is 1 by 3x, right? And the next thing which they have given us is, the area of the farm is 20 times the area of the pond. So this is the final condition they have given us, and we are going to solve it using that, right? Now what will be the area of the rectangular plot? The area of the rectangular is length into breadth, right? So we will see that rectangular farm ka area is, farm area is equal to length into breadth. Now what we have the length as, we have 2x plus 10 into x, that is the breadth. So this is the rectangular plot ka area, and what we have is the area. Now we will find the square pond ka area. So that is square pond area is, so what is the area of the square? Area of the square is side square, right? The square ke side ka square. I hope you will understand. It is a little confusing, but I know you may be knowing that, right? So that is x square. Now suppose we take the side of the square is a, right? So a square is the area of the square, and we just substitute the value of a, that is 1 by 3x. So it will be 1 by 3x into the whole square, right? So this is the area of the square plot. Now what they have given the condition as, the area of the farm is 20 times the area of the pond. Now we will just give it a try. that is area of the farm. Area of the farm is equal to 20 into area of the pond. 20 in area of the pond, right? So this is they have given us, and we have found it the area of the farm as well as the area of the pond, right? So area of the farm is x into 2x plus 10, and area of the pond is 20 into area of the pond is 1 by 3 x square. Sorry, this thing is whole square na, so this will become 1 by 3 x into whole square. Now we will just multiply these terms. That is what we will get is x into 2x, that is 2x square plus 10x. This side is sorted. Next is the 20 into 1 by 3 ka square will be 1 by 9 into x square, right? So we will just take this 9 on the other side. What we will get is 9 into 2x square plus 10x is equal to 20x square, right? So 9 into 2 will be 18x square, and this 9 into 10 will be 90x is equal to 20x square, right? Now this 18 we will take it on the other side, and we will get it as 2x square is equal to 90x. Now I will just simply tell you that you have this x and x on the both the sides, and we can just cancel one of the x from that, right? So we can cancel this x, and this is x square, so that is x into x, right? So one of the x gets cancelled from here, so what we get is 2x is equal to 90. Now next thing is this 2 goes on the other side, and we get x ka value as 45 meters, right? Now this is the breadth of the farm. We have assumed the breadth of the farm to be x. Now we have to find the length of the farm. So length, this is the breadth. Now length of the farm is 2x plus 10, right? So it is 2 into 45 plus 10. So 2 into 45 is 90 plus 10, that will be 100 meters, right? And the next thing is we have to find the length of the pond. So that is, we have assumed it a, so length of the pond is suppose we say is equal to a is equal to 1 by 3x, right? And we will substitute the value of x. We will get it as 1 by 3 into 45. So 3 15s is 45. So for 15 meters. So length of the pond is 15 meters, and we got our answers, right? So we have removed the length, breadth of the farm as well as the pond, right? So I hope this is easy type of sum, and all the questions you have to solve it using the conditions given, and you have to just assume one variable according to your convenience, because see, I have just assumed breadth x, and according to that condition, that is the length is more than 10 more meters than the twice the breadth. So according to that, I have just arranged these terms, and I have got the needed value, right? So this is the same thing which you have to do. And yeah, we have solved all the application sums, and now we are moving to the next type of sum, that is the roots of the quadratic equation. This is not based on the applications. This is a different sum which I have taken from your problem set, and I will try to solve it in a simple manner. Okay, so let's move ahead. This is a question, and as I said, this question is based on the roots. Like, we have to find the roots and then form the quadratic equation. Okay, so basically we have to just use what we have learned till now and just do this sum. Okay, so the first thing we will read the question, that is find quadratic equation such that square of sum of the roots and square of difference of the roots of equation this. Now we have to find a new quadratic equation whose roots are sum of the sum का square and difference का square of this roots के equation. Okay, so this is the different equation and we have to find a different equation. So the given equation is 2x square plus 2 into p plus q x plus p square plus q square is equal to 0. Now we have to just find these sum ka square and difference ka square. So how can we find the sum square? Now we know the roots of the relation between the roots of the quadratic equation and its coefficients, right? So that is alpha plus beta gives us minus b by a, and alpha into beta is equal to c by a, right? So using these relations we have to just find these terms, that is alpha plus beta is equal to minus b by a. Now in this b is the term which is with x, coefficient of x, right? So that is 2 into p plus q with a minus sign divided by a, that is 2. So this 2, and what we will get, this 2 and 2 will get cancelled, so we will get it as minus p plus q, right? Now we need to find alpha into beta. So alpha into beta is equal to c by a. So what is c? P square plus q square, that is the constant terms. So we have p square plus q square and upon 2, that is a, right? So 2. So this is our alpha into beta. Now what they have given us is the new equation which we have to form. Its roots are square of the sum of the roots and difference of the sum of the roots. Square of the difference of the roots. So now we need to find the alpha plus beta ka whole square. So we know what is alpha plus beta and we need to find its whole square. So this alpha plus beta ka whole square is equal to, now before I just start finding these roots, can we just name these roots something? Like we know the original roots are alpha and beta. So for the new quadratic equation, we can just name these roots as alpha 1 and beta 1, right? So these are the new roots of our equation which we have to find. So this alpha will become alpha plus beta ka whole square, and this alpha is alpha minus beta ka whole square. So these two terms we have to find, and then for that we know alpha plus beta, that is minus p plus q, right? So alpha plus beta ka whole square will be minus p plus q ka whole square. So that will become p plus q ka whole square, right? So this is what we have, and for beta 1 is equal to, that is this is alpha 1, right? So for beta 1 we have alpha minus beta ka whole square. Now how we will find this is, we know the formula, that is a minus b ka whole square is equal to a plus b ka whole square minus 4 into ab, right? So this is the relation between the a minus b ka whole square and a plus b ka whole square. Only thing we have to just subtract this 4ab, right? So we now know what is a plus b, that is alpha plus beta ka whole square, right, from this, and we know that is alpha into beta, right? So we will just write these terms, that is a and b, in the form of alpha and beta, and you will get to know what I am saying. That is alpha into beta, alpha minus beta ka whole square is equal to alpha plus beta ka whole square minus 4 alpha into beta, right? From this we know alpha plus beta ka whole square and alpha into beta, right? We only thing we have to do is we have to substitute these values here. So we will substitute that and get the value of beta 1. So beta 1 is equal to alpha plus beta ka whole square, which is p plus q का whole square minus 4 into we had removed the value of alpha into beta, so that is p square plus q square by 2. So we will just substitute it here. So p square plus q square by 2. Now here that 2 and this 4 will get cancelled and it will become 2. So that is p plus q का whole square minus 2 into p square plus q square. Now we can just extend these values. We will get p square plus q square plus 2pq minus 2p square minus 2q square, right? Now we can see here this p square will get subtracted, and what we will get is 2pq minus p square minus this q square minus 2q square is q square, right? So this we have got the value of beta 1. And now if you see here that this can become a whole square, right? This term we can write it in terms of whole square. That is, if we take the minus sign common from here, if we take this p square minus 2pq plus q square, so what this is, it is the a minus b का whole square, right? So minus p minus q का whole square. We have got this thing. Now we know the value of alpha and beta. Now for finding the equation, new quadratic equation, what we have is, we know that the new quadratic equation will be x square minus alpha 1 plus beta 1 into x plus alpha 1 into beta 1, right? So this is the equation which we have learned when we know the roots and we have to find the equation, right? So in this we know alpha and beta, and we need to get the values of alpha 1 plus beta 1 and alpha 1 into beta 1. So alpha 1 plus beta 1 is equal to, what is the value of alpha 1? We have alpha 1 as p plus q का whole square, p plus q का whole square, and beta 1 as p minus q का whole square, right? That is minus p. Here if you see here that beta 1 की value we have got it as minus p minus into p minus q का whole square. So it will be minus here. Now what we can do is, we can just expand these values, and what we get is p square plus q square plus 2pq. This is minus, and this I will just put it in a bracket, that is p square plus q square minus 2pq, right? Now I will take this terms outside the bracket. What we get is p square plus q square plus 2pq will remain the same. If I take this outside, minus p square, this is nothing here, and this is q square plus 2pq, right? So what will get cancelled? This is q square, p square, this will get cancelled, this 2pq and 2pq will get added, so we get 4pq. Now I will just give you a simple hint here, that we know that, right, that a minus b का whole square is equal to a plus b का whole square minus 4ab, right? From that this cannot we say that a minus b का whole square minus a plus b का whole square is equal to minus 4ab. Now if you rearrange it, we get a plus b का whole square minus a minus b का whole square is equal to 4ab, right? We could have directly got this value from here, instead of just expanding this and getting the values and just then again cancelling it. We could have just directly said that this term, this value is equal to 4ab, and we could have got this value, right? So I have just made it simple here. If you want, you can just say that also. And if you didn't get this thing, you cannot, you just don't go in using that. You can just simply expand the brackets and then get the value of alpha 1 plus beta 1. Okay, next thing is alpha 1 into beta 1 we have to find. So alpha 1 is p plus q ka whole square, and beta is minus q ka whole square, right? So this is what we have. And now we have this minus sign here, and we can just write it as p plus q into p minus q ka whole square, right? Now if you see that this is a plus b and a minus b, cannot we write it as this thing, that is minus b minus into p p square minus q square ka whole square. Yes, we can write that. And we got alpha 1 plus beta 1, alpha 1 into beta 1 ki value, right? Now we have to just substitute these values in the equation, that is x square, or we can say x1 square minus alpha 1 plus beta 1 x plus alpha 1 into beta 1 is equal to 0. So now we know the values and we are going to substitute it here. Now we have alpha 1 and plus beta 1 is equal to 4pq. So x1 square minus 4pq x plus, now what is the value which I have got here is, that is minus p square minus q square ka whole square. So minus p square minus q square ka whole square is equal to 0. So x1 square minus 4pq x1 minus p square minus q square ka whole square is equal to 0. So this is a new equation which we want, right? This is what we had to find. Now this question is not based on the applications part. This is a simple question which is based on the roots and finding the quadratic equation. So I know it is a little difficult, but if you understand it properly and know the concepts previously which were taught, then you can just solve it easily, right? Now we are at the end of this chapter and we will just summarize what we have learned in this entire chapter. So the first thing which we learned is what is quadratic equation. So for a quadratic equation, it is a degree of it is an equation with degree 2, right? And it is a one variable equation, that is x or y, you can say. Now the standard form of a quadratic equation which we learned is ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. In this we learned this, right? Ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So this is what we learned in the standard form of quadratic equation. Now roots of a quadratic equation. In the roots of a quadratic equation, I will simply say that roots of a quadratic equation is that number which satisfies the given equation, right? If we substitute the value of that, suppose x is equal to 6, if we substitute that value 6 in the given equation and we get the value of the equation as 0, we can say that this is the root of the given equation. Okay, and in the roots of a quadratic equation, if the degree of the equation is 2, we will have 2 roots. Okay, next thing which we learned is the methods to find the roots of the quadratic equation. The first was the factorization method, in which we had to find the factors of the number which we get by multiplying the constant term and the first coefficient, and just write that factors such that we get the middle number by subtracting it or adding it, right? So this is what we learned in the factorization method. Next was the completing the square method. In this method, we had an equation and we had to write it in the form of a complete square and get the value of x. So this is what we did in the completing the square method. Next is the formula for solving the quadratic equation. In the formula for solving the quadratic equation, we learned the formula which I told you, you have to remember it throughout your lives. You will need it very frequently for finding the roots of the quadratic equation. So if you do not know the factors, and you can simply just substitute the values of the coefficients in that formula and get the values of the roots. So the formula was minus b plus minus root of b square minus 4ac upon 2a. Right? Next was the nature of roots of the quadratic equation. Now the nature of roots of the quadratic equation depends on the value of b square minus 4ac, right? If the value of b square minus 4ac is 0, we get real and equal roots, right? Next, if the value of b square minus 4ac is less than 0, we get roots which are not real, right? If the value of b square minus 4ac is greater than 0, we get the roots as real and unequal. So these are the three conditions which we learned in the nature of roots of a quadratic equation, right? The next thing which we learned is the relation between roots of the quadratic equation and coefficients. That is, we saw it now in the previous question. That is, we used that alpha plus beta is equal to minus b by a and alpha into beta is equal to c by a. So these were the two relations which we learned, and these relations were between the roots of the quadratic equation and its coefficients, right? The next thing which we learned is how to obtain a quadratic equation having given roots. When we know the roots and we have to find the equation from that, we learned the expression, that is x square minus alpha plus beta into x plus alpha into beta is equal to 0. Now alpha and beta are the roots of the quadratic equation and we know them, and we just have to find the value of alpha plus beta and alpha into beta and just substitute these values in the expression and get the required quadratic equation. So this is what we learned in this topic, that is to obtain a quadratic equation having given roots. Next was the applications of quadratic equation, which we learned in this video, and we saw the basic applications which were speed, length, cache, and something like this. There are many applications, so you can just try the various questions which are given in your textbooks and solve this applications, right? So you will know where do we use these quadratic equations. Okay, so this is what we have learned in this entire chapter, and I hope it was easy for you to understand. So yes, we will end the thing now. So thank you for watching my video, guys, and please do like, share and subscribe. If you have not subscribed yet, please do subscribe my channel and stay awaited for this for new chapters which I will teach you in a simple manner. So thank you for watching my video, guys.